Hello everyone, I am Kiran Joshi. Hope you all are safe and sound. This is the second video of Class 6 History, Chapter 8 Vital Villages, Thriving Towns. Children, there can be several different kinds of evidences that can help to understand about the life of the early cities, such as stories, sculptures, travelers' accounts, and archaeology. And in the first video of this chapter, we have already learnt how stories can be an important source of information. Now let's learn how sculptures can give us insight of some of the earliest cities. These sculptures were carved on the railings, pillars, and gateways of buildings and depicted the scenes of people's lives in towns, in villages, and in the forests. Children, you have learnt about Mahajanpadas and their fortified capitals also. Means those capitals were surrounded by massive walls. These capitals were the examples of very early cities that emerged about 2500 years ago. Children, in many of these early cities, rows of pots or ceramic rings arranged one on top of the other were found. They are called ring wells. Perhaps at some places these were used as toilets and at some other places as drains and garbage dumps. Mostly these ring wells were found in individual houses. However, archaeologists have not found enough evidences of palaces, markets, or homes of ordinary people of that time. The two reasons behind it can be: the first reason, perhaps some such evidences or remains are yet to be discovered by archaeologists, and the second reason can be that perhaps those palaces or homes of ordinary people were made of wood, mud, brick, or thatch, and therefore they were not survived. We know that from ancient times, travelers and sailors have been visiting the different places of the subcontinent. Therefore, the accounts of sailors and travelers is also a significant source to find out about early cities where they visited. One very significant and detailed traveler's account that has been found was by an unknown Greek sailor. This Greek sailor visited many ports and described them all in his account. For example, he described Barigaza, the Greek name of Bharuch. Uh, Through the map here, you can see that Bharuch is a port city in Gujarat. He described that the Gulf of Bharuch was very narrow and that the king had employed local, very skilled fishermen to steer the ships of the merchants who used to come from the different lands. The things imported to Bharuch included wine, copper, tin, lead, coral, topaz, cloth, gold, and silver. And the things that were exported from Bharuch were the plants from Himalayas, ivory, agate, uh, carnelian, cotton, silk, and perfumes. The merchants used to bring special gifts for the king also, such as silver vessels, fine wine, fine cloth, etc. Children, in that period, wealth was measured in terms of coins. Several thousands of coins of that period were found by archaeologists. In the very beginning, there were punch marked coins which were in use for about 500 years in the beginning. The pictures of the punch marked coins are shown here to you. Children, these coins have been termed as punch marked because the designs were punched on these coins. These coins were usually of silver or copper. The early cities were of various kinds, and various kinds, as their growth had different causes. Some were administrative towns, some were market towns, some were port towns, and some towns were religious centers. But many a times, children, a single city gained importance due to many reasons. For example, the city of Mathura, that has an important settlement for more than 2500 years. Mathura was an important town as it was located at the juncture of two major routes for travel and trade. One which was from northwest to the east, and the other from north to south. Around the city there were fortifications and many shrines. There were farmers and herders in the adjoining areas of Mathura city, and these farmers and herders were the suppliers of food for the people in the city. Mathura was also a big center for the sculpture production. The Mathura school of sculpture produced some very fine sculptures. Here is one image of such sculpture. During the reign of Kushanas around 2000 years ago, Mathura became their second capital. Thus, it gained administrative importance too. Mathura was an important city as it was a religious center also. There were Buddhist monasteries and Jaina shrines in Mathura. It was a great religious center for the worship of Krishna. In Mathura, many short inscriptions on stone slabs and statues have been found. These inscriptions are usually the records of gifts which people presented to monasteries and shrines. Those gifts were made, or you can say given, to the monasteries and shrines by kings and queens, officers, merchants, and craft persons who lived in Mathura. The inscriptions found from Mathura mention that gold smiths, blacksmiths, weavers, basket makers, garland makers, perfumers were among those craft persons who lived in the city. Now let's learn more about the crafts and craft persons in the early cities. The archaeologists have found evidence for crafts. For instance, the very fine pottery known as the northern black polished ware. The pottery is given this name because it is usually found in the northern part of the subcontinent. It is black in color and has a fine polish or gloss. Children, archaeologists did not find evidence of many crafts, as several evidence of crafts may not have survived, though they were very flourishing during that period. We know about those crafts through the texts. For example, in the texts of that period, it is mentioned that the manufacture of cloth was an important craft. There were many famous centers for manufacturing cloth. For example, Varanasi in the north and Mathura in the south. Both men and women worked in these centers. Children, in Arthashastra, which was written by Kautilya or Chanakya, some rules are mentioned that describe how spinning and weaving could be done in workshops under the supervision of a special official. These rules explain that amongst all women who could be employed by the superintendent, how should the workers be paid, and the responsibilities, duties, and punishment for the superintendent as well as the workers. In the early cities, as the crafts and trade were flourishing, many crafts persons and traders had started forming associations. These associations were called shrenis. The shrenis of craftspersons performed the task of providing training to people, obtain or get raw material for the craft, and distributing the finished product. Then the shrenis of merchants organized the trade. The shrenis also acted as banks. and rich men and women deposited money in these shrenis. The deposited money was invested, and the interest gained from the investment was either returned to those who deposited the money, or was used in the religious institutions like monasteries, etc. Now children, let's learn about an early town in South India, that is Arikamedu. Arikamedu was located 3 kilometers south of Puducherry. You can see it here in the map. It was a coastal settlement and a thriving center of Indo-Roman trade between 2200 and 1900 years ago. From excavations, a large brick structure was found, which was possibly a warehouse. The image shown to you here uh, is of that structure. Archaeologists also found pottery that was imported from the Mediterranean region. It included amphor, which were tall, double-handled jars to keep liquids like wine or oil. Other type of pottery which was found at the site was stamped red glazed pottery. Uh, The pottery is named after a city. It was known as Eretine ware, and it is named after a city in Italy. This pottery was made by pressing wet clay into a stamped mold. Here you can see the images of both amphor and Eretine ware. Another kind of pottery was also found, which was made locally using Roman designs. Besides, there were some other findings too, such as Roman lamps, glassware, gems, etc. Archaeologists also found small tanks which were perhaps dyeing vats that were used to dye cloth. The image given here is of one such small tank found at the site. A lot of evidence indicate that semi-precious stones and glass were used to make beads at this place. So children, this was about the chapter. Now some questions for you in order to revise the topics. So the first question is, what do you understand by the term punched mark coins? Second question, explain about the northern black polished ware of the early centuries of ancient India. Third question, explain in brief the role or functions of the shrenis. Fourth question, describe in brief the main features of Arikamedu. Children, if you found this video helpful and wish to watch more of such content, do consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you have any queries or comments, please post them in the comment section below. Thank you.